And we're back once again, only on its last call. Last call at the alcohol, only on the lastcallpodcast.com. And joining me here, I am blessed to have a man who, well, if you've seen before, it was probably when he was with Wildestarr. Well, he still is, ex Vicious Rumors, Chastain. He is a metal guitarist, bassist, and well, he is a man who has a story to tell, and we're just honored to tell it here. I give you bassist, guitarist, and all-around musician extraordinaire. I give you Wildestarr's David K Starr. So, David, let's start off here with the newest single, which is Not Dead Yet. For those who don't know, you were diagnosed with Parkinson's 2020.
Yes.
This single is about this and about you're just continuing to fight. So, how tough was it writing this song? Because this isn't like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about something positive. This is about a song which is more about plugging ahead, going away, going forward, and not worrying about what you have or what is going on.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Chris. It's great talking with you, and I appreciate the opportunity. Yeah. The basis for the song started out after I was diagnosed 5 years ago. I didn't really think about writing a song, but for something clicked in me last year, and I have a tendency to go blank when I write, and I don't really remember much about writing this. I know I recorded it. I remember recording in the studio down the hall, but I'm not much of a lyric writer. But it just kind of came to me, and I've never really sang before, so this was all new to me. But it started out as I started writing it about what I was going through and what I was feeling, and then as the songwriting progressed, I really felt that it was a little too narrow just to be writing it about myself. So I guess, for lack of a better word, I tried to write some sort of an anthem for anybody else that's out there that's suffering through some kind of pain or health problems, or a broken heart, or a death of a loved one, or anything that. For me, it just happened to be Parkinson's, but I thought it would be a little odd to write about me. So I kind of made it as a blank slate where people can interpret it however they want to. Yeah, the inspiration of the song came from what I was going through, but I never really specifically in the song mentioned my disease or my problems. So I wanted it to be more of uh, just something to throw out there that anybody who's going through something similar could relate to. And that's really the basis of the song and the video.
When you're writing this, though, how much of it was it tough, and how much of it was therapy for you? Like, all right, I'm just getting it off. There's like words to a voice of all the thoughts in your head, just raging. And it's like I gotta do something, else I'm gonna go crazy. So for you, is this
Well,
mental, almost therapy?
well, I have a very busy life. I own my own business that I run from home, a guitar electronics company called Star Guitar System. So that my wife and I run here. So I've got that. Uh, I've got my music. I've got this big, beautiful house that we live in here out in Texas. I have a lot of things going on in my life. So I don't really have a lot of time to sit around and feel sorry for myself. And it's not the kind of person I am anyway. So, yeah, it's just about staying positive. And I'm not sure why it took me 3.5 or 4 years to write this after I was diagnosed. Everything comes at whenever it's ready. Maybe I just wasn't ready to write about it, didn't think about it, but for whatever reason, it just kind of hit me last year that maybe I could channel this into uh, what I'm going through, and put pen to paper and start writing some lyrics, and add some cool riffs sitting around that seemed to fit the mood of the song, and it just panned out. And so far, it's only been out a couple of weeks, but so far all the comments on social media and YouTube have all been very, very supportive and very positive.
Are you surprised with how much likes? Because you're a heavy metal veteran, so this isn't like R&B, rap, country, which are taking over. This is, from what people say, oh yeah, heavy metal is no longer cool. Rock music is dead, and yet there's a lot of, from what I've read and from what I've seen, there's a lot of people love this. So did that surprise you that this would take off this well, considering heavy metal is not what it once was in terms of like the
Well,
mainstream popularity?
the people who know who I am are heavy metal fans because I've got a recording career going back 40 years. Um, so I think the people who have followed me, whether it was from Vicious Rumors and all the records I did with them and all the touring I did with them in the 80s and the 90s, and then doing some session work with David Chastain, then doing the 3 albums with my wife. That's what Wildestarr was. And then to this. And honestly, I didn't talk much about my Parkinson's on social media. I'm not the kind of person that really talks a lot about personal things like that. So I don't think really, I did do one interview with KNAC, I think after I was diagnosed. And I think that was the only interview that I did. And I just felt the time was right. And the people who are fans of the work that I've done have been very supportive. It was a little bit of a departure in terms of what I'm used to. When you think of heavy metal, you don't think of maybe necessarily this topic. And I'm not much of a lyric writer in my past bands, but most of heavy metal has to do with death and destruction and war and science fiction and fantasy, things like that. So this is kind of a real departure for me. Although it's a heavy song, it's a very personal song, and I've never written anything or been a part of anything that was personal like that, like this. So it's been interesting, and it seems to be registering with people. I've got one person in particular. I've got a good friend who had a stroke a couple of years ago and is paralyzed on half of his side. And he saw the video and listened to the song, and it really moved him, and it really struck a chord with him inside. So that's what I want to do, reach out to people. And that's what I've always wanted to do anyway, whether what I'm writing about. But this just happens to be a very personal message, which is kind of new for me. It's all new for me because I've never really sang before. This is all new to me, and I'm not really much of a lyric writer, so I'm breaking all kinds of new ground with this track here. So it's been interesting to say the least, but positive. It's all good.
From past experience, I've learned that when something major happens that affects you, you find out quickly who is there for you, who's not. You find out very quickly who the true people are that you can count on. Did this help? Like, who are the people that you, besides your wife, I'm guessing, of course, like who are the people that you noticed really stepped up and went, all right, we're here for you. We're going to help you out. And they actually follow through?
Well, I've gotten lots of messages on social media, people wishing me well, and it's been very encouraging. It's been very positive, and I have to admit that I really felt like I was sticking my neck out, because I remember the day that I pressed play or launch, whatever it is, on YouTube, because I'd listened to this song for months. I thought it was good. I wouldn't have posted it or done the video if I didn't think it was. But, when you actually say, okay, we're going to put it out there, I was kind of on pins and needles wondering what the response was going to be, because I had no idea. I believed in what I was doing, but just because you think something is cool, you never know what the listeners out there. And it's just been great. It's been real positive. Uh, uh, Not just from the fans who've followed me over the years, but also the people like you who've expressed an interest. Every interview I've done, the people have said, "Wow, this really is an interesting story, and not just another song. It's a deeply personal message that I put out there." So I just got off the phone with Ron Keel a few minutes ago, and he went through this hell with his wife with cancer a few years back, and he said that this really it struck a chord with him as well. So it's been great. I'm enjoying it. I don't like having I don't like having Parkinson's, but uh, the uh, the encouragement and the response for this has been pretty cool, I have to admit.
I remember when I dealing with Freddie Roach years ago. His feeling was the reason he boxed the training was it sharpens everything. The muscles are working, so that way it helps stave off Parkinson's. How much was this for you? Like, all right, the more I play music, the more I'm staying off all this. I'm still keeping everything sharp. I'm not letting the body go down that road. I mean, how much for you is music almost physical therapy because you're active, you're doing something, and it's just the muscle memory is still there.
Well, I think it's really important, and I've always, ever since I started this journey, um, I've always tell people basically the same thing. That's to stay active, stay busy, stay engaged. Uh, don't sit around and mope and feel sorry for yourself. Um, and that's basically the route that I've taken. I just really been I haven't been it almost sounds cliche, but I don't have time for this. I have too much stuff going on, and a lot of it's really, really positive. So I belong to a couple of Parkinson's groups on Facebook, and it scares me when I hear some of the people get on there and they say, I was just diagnosed yesterday, and I want to crawl into a hole and die. And I feel like, wow, that's the exact opposite of what you need to be doing. You gotta stand tall, and that's what the lyrics are in the song. About standing tall with my feet on the ground. Um, I exercise probably not as much as I should. I do a lot of dog walks with our dogs, and just getting out and living life is just really important for anybody, no matter what you're going through. And I've been through hell in my life. Uh, Not necessarily anything unique from anybody else, but I've had really bad heartbreak. I've had deaths that are people very close to me. I've been fired from bands. Uh, just you name it. So I know what pain's like, and no matter what you're going through, you just got to keep your head up, and that's the message I'm just trying to convey.
You
Yeah.
said you have a lot of good things going on. So what are the positive things that you are doing right now? Besides, you said you have your guitar shop, you have your music. Like, what are some of the things that David K Starr has right now that you're going, all right, every day I get out of bed, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm looking forward to. I have things I got to accomplish.
Well, my business, guitar electronics business, Star Guitar Systems, I run from home. My workshops, just actually at home here down the hall. And that keeps me busy literally 6 days a week, sometimes seven, building custom guitar components for guitar and bass, electric guitar and bass. And that really keeps me busy. Uh, and um, Being married, My wife and I have a lot of things going on, good and bad. She had a stroke last year, and as a matter of fact, we're taking her to the hospital tomorrow to get a pacemaker put in. So, we own a beautiful house here in northern Houston area of Texas. I got my music. It's always going to be there. Sometimes I have to put the music on. I've had to put the music on back burner, which is frustrating because, like a lot of musicians, they're not necessarily making a living or much money doing it. So I'm fortunate that I have my guitar electronics company. So at this stage of my life, at age 64, and being in this uncertain situation where literally I could be dead in a couple of years from this disease. I had a good friend of mine. I've had Parkinson's for 5 years, and I had a friend who had Parkinson's, and from diagnosis to death, it was less than 5 years for him. And so you just never know. And in some ways it makes you, I don't want to say it's a good thing to have something like this happen, but when it does, you can look at it two ways. You can let it consume you, or you can try to use it to your advantage, which is what I've tried to do with this song, which is what I try to do with my life every day. Maybe in some ways it makes me appreciate life more. I shouldn't say it. Maybe it does. It makes me appreciate life more every day, because every day I get up and I try to put a smile on my face, because I know that tomorrow's not guaranteed. This disease is very uncertain, and there's no cure for it. So I just stay positive, stay upbeat, and I'm always busy. I'm always got stuff going on around here, whether it's music, my business, taking care of the house, taking care of the dogs, doing stuff with my wife. I'm enjoying life. I'm not letting this consume me. I'm still getting up every day and living life to the fullest.
Do you get some? I hate this is such a stupid question, but do you get how, I guess, impressive what you're doing is? Because as you said, this can break people. Most people get broken, and I understand that. Look, I've been in those situations. It takes a long time to get out. It seems it's just like, all right, you're treating like, oh yeah, well, I got back my blood test. Yeah, was that great? It's my cholesterol. I'm gonna be fine. You keep on going. Like, do you want to? I guess for you, do you ever look and go, most people can't be you. Like, you are a unique individual in terms of how you approach this and how you're handling all this.
Well, I just I don't really know. I don't really know the answer to that. I hope that I can stay as positive. Parkinson's has 5 stages: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One being the um, I don't want to. I almost said entry level, but the early, not entry level. The early stages of Parkinson's is stage 1, and stage 5 is basically needing round the clock care, and that's where probably the most famous person would be Michael J. Fox, who's in pretty bad shape right now. He's alive, but he's definitely struggling. And his situation was really unique because he got this at a very early age. Parkinson's usually hits in 50s, 60s, and he was, I think, 29 when he was diagnosed. So his situation is really unique. But for me, I hope that I can stay positive, because I do exude a positive vibe. I try to, with everybody I talk to about this. I hope that I'm in maybe stage 2 right now. You see this?
Yeah.
That's all real. I'm not shaking my hand. That is, ladies and gentlemen, that is Parkinson's disease. So I'm in stage maybe one and a half. I'm 1.5 to 2. So I hope I can keep this positive, energy going no matter what my situation is. But it all has to start somewhere. And I think it would make, I'm not the kind to just sit here and go, woe's me, woe's me, woe's me. I want to stay positive for not just for myself, but I owe it to my wife, my daughter, my sister, my friends, my dogs. There are people counting on me. And that's a big responsibility. And it isn't going to do anybody any good if I don't stay positive and stay focused. So I hope that with this song and this video that it can help other people who are, like I said, no matter what you're going through. It doesn't have to be Parkinson's, because the song's not really about Parkinson's. Parkinson's isn't mentioned anywhere in the song. It's my springboard for what I'm going through to send a positive message out to the world and try to enlighten people about staying positive and staying focused during very troubling times, no matter what it is.
Final two questions. I'll let you go. Let's segue off something different. I want your opinion as a bassist, guitarist, heavy metal enthusiast. Can heavy metal and hard rock come back? I mean, everybody said, ever since Woodstock 1999, it seems like it's just been gone, almost like it's a niche of a niche. Yet we've seen like Christian rock is starting to become more popular. We've seen country explode. In your opinion, what would it take for hard rock and heavy metal to get back to what it used to be?
That's a good question. I'm 64, and my first rock/metal concert was seeing Kiss in 1977 on the Love Gun tour. And I saw Judas Priest umpteen times, Thin Lizzy, Van Halen, Blue Oyster Cult, Saxon, Iron Maiden. I mean, you name it. Motorhead. I've been around, that long to see and witness and see all those great legendary bands, Metallica. I go so far back with those guys that they were actually opening for one of my old bands when we were playing at the old Waldorf in San Francisco in 1982, and they opened up for us. So far back I go with those guys. But I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. A lot of people say that the legends are dying off. They're, Ace Frehley just passing away, and Glenn Tipton, who obviously most people know also has Parkinson's and really has become incapacitated for the most part in terms of not being able to tour anymore. And Ozzy had Parkinson's when he passed away. But I honestly probably give you the answer that you don't want to hear, but it's just that I just don't pay enough attention to what's going on, mainly because I have so much on my plate right now in front of me. I hear a lot of people say, with all these guys dying off and the band's getting old and retiring, is there going to be another generation? It doesn't seem the same. Maybe it's because I'm an old fart. I don't know. Maybe I don't relate to the younger bands. It could have been the same thing 40, 50 years ago when I was starting out. Maybe people didn't relate to the Kiss or the Judas Priest or the Iron Maiden and thought that stuff was crazy. But I just focus on what I'm doing. And I'm not really worried anymore about, I've kind of left all that. I was blessed to be on independent labels with Vicious Rumours and then getting signed to Atlantic, touring the world, videos on MTV, uh, playing in 20 some odd countries. So I've kind of been there and done that. I lived that life. Now I just kind of tune a lot of that stuff out and just concentrate on living my life day to day. And if 10 people like don't Not Dead Yet, the new track, that's great. If a million like it, that's better. But I'm just been around the block, been around long enough that I just don't sweat things that I have no control over. And whether metal's going to come back or not. I mean, some people say it's never really left. I don't know. You know, Judas Priest is still playing, and Iron Maiden are still playing big venues, but there does seem to be a what would you call it? There seems to be a gap. That's maybe the. I don't really see the next generation showing up to take the places of the rock legends that are aging and dying, like Aerosmith, Kiss, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, whatever, you know. And if that is the case, then that's sad. Is the future big bands like, I don't know, Slipknot, who I don't even really know much about. I don't even think I could tell you one song from them. I just don't really, I just don't worry about it anymore. I,
Well,
I've contributed my share, and I will keep doing it as long as I can keep making music. And you know, it's the old saying, I can't control anything other than what's going on in my life and what I have right in front of me. I've been playing this kind of music for 50 years. I'll do it till I drop dead, whether that's a year from now or 10 years from now. That's it for me.
so final question to let you go here. How often do you just sit and just sort of reminisce, like, can't believe I did all this? As you said, you've toured the world, you've played with, you know, as you said, Judas Priest, you played with heavy metal rock bands, you've interacted with legends, you've loved, you've lost love, you've gotten married, you've run a business. Like, how often do you sit there and go, I never thought I'd do all this, even when I first started this journey? Like, there are ever moments where you just sit there like, I can't believe I accomplished all this, because usually the odds are against you for accomplishing half of it, and you've doubled that.
Well, yeah. This year, 2025 is the 40th anniversary of the first Vicious Rumours album, Soldiers of the Night. It came out in 1985. And I just think, wow, I was what, 23, 24 then? Somebody asked me the other day on one of these interviews that have I ever thought about writing a book, not just about music, but about my life. I've had an interesting life, that's for sure. Whether or not it would translate into a book anybody wants to read, I don't know. But yeah, there are times when I sit back and I go, man, did this all happen? It just seems like some of the things when I think back on, I say to myself, wow, did this really happen, or was it a dream that I was having? But it's all real. And it's a trip getting old, because there were times when before I got clean and sober 20 some odd years ago, whether or not didn't even know whether I was going to see my 40th birthday, let alone end up being 64 one day. But yeah, it's the old saying, it's what a long, strange trip it has been. And I hope I have a few more years left to do it, but to keep going. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. And my daughter's going to be 40 next month. I can't believe my little baby girl's going to be 40. Uh, but yeah, it's amazing. And I've told her that I've said, I tell my daughter Tani, I say, hey, you figure out all these problems in the world now. I've done my best. I fought the good fight. Now it's up to you and your generation or the generation that comes after you to figure out all this stuff. But yeah, it's been wild. I've had a lot of pain. I've had a lot of suffering. I've had a lot of heartbreak, but I've had a lot of amazing things too that have happened in my life. Uh, that You got to take the good with the bad. I remember there was I'm a big Star Trek fan, and Captain Kirk said in one of the movies, he said, yeah, I've had a lot of pain, but I don't ever want to lose that pain because it's part of who I am. It makes me who I am. You take away the pain and suffering that I've been through, and you take away part of me. So I want the good and the bad because it all accumulates into who you are today. For me at age 64. So I get up every day and I enjoy life. You got to, no matter what. And no matter how bad, I tell people with this Parkinson's that there's always somebody worse off. So be thankful for what you have. And I have a lot to be thankful for in this life. And I'm very appreciative of it.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I am honored and blessed to have on the show. And once again, check out it's a new album. It is once again Not Dead. It was new single, Not Dead Yet. I give you once again from Wildestarr. I give you bassist, musician, guitarist, and just inspirational, I should say, guru. I give you David K Starr. So, David, before I let you go, where can fans check you out at? Where is the website? Where is the official? Where can fans check out the official video? And where else can fans interact with you if they want to hit you up and talk to you?
The best place to find the videos on YouTube, just type in David K Starr, 2 R's and Star, or Not Dead Yet, or both of them, and you'll find the official video there. It went live, I guess, about 2 weeks ago, and my main internet social site is Facebook, and it's Dave K Starr 7777. Yeah, so I think if you just type Dave K Starr, you'll find me on Facebook. That's my main social media place.
David Starr, ladies and gentlemen, once again, check out the new hit single. It's called Not Dead Yet, which, once again, inspirational story that you have to listen to. Just don't take my word for it. Take everybody else who's been following his journey. We come back, though. We got a lot more going on here, only on It's Last Call. Last Call, the alcohol, only on the Last Call Podcast.com.